For a minute, I was like, who's talking? It's a magic show. No, but before I start, can I just request the Muslims, if you see any non-Muslim around you, you can't really know, but if you see anyone who looks like a non-Muslim around you, who's alone, can you just go and sit next to him or her? Because in my stand-up comedy, I will have some references that are too Islamic to be understood by non-Muslims. So yeah, start moving if you can. Great. All right. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi, wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmid din. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Really Islamic. Cool. This is probably the first stand-up comedy performance you've seen that starts by mentioning the name of Allah, praising Him, and asking Him to send peace and salutations upon Prophet Muhammad. I was hoping such a beginning would make it religiously obligatory upon the Muslims to laugh at my jokes. Okay, good, it's working. No, but you know, the organizer called this a stand-up comedy performance, but I would say will not be purely comic, okay? I would rather regard it as a meaningful conversation that has some fun elements in it, but also serves an educational purpose, right? But it is important for me to discipline myself as a speaker and as a performer, because you see a lot of, most of the stand-up comedy performances you see nowadays in the world are usually full of profanity and racist stereotypes, right? So I want to make sure that my performance has no foul language. Let's talk about Pakistanis. Not to reinforce the stereotypes, but to challenge and break some stereotypes, okay? Allow me to craft a super stereotypical story, a fake story of course, just to make a point, okay? So say a mainlander, a local, and a Pakistani walk into a bar. No, that's haram, sorry, let me change that. Let's say a white exchange student and a mainlander and a local finished the lab session here at HKU, and they were given a grade for the lab session, okay? The white exchange student got a D, and he was calling his friend, "Hey Tommy, I can't believe I passed it. I mean, I couldn't understand a word the professor was saying, especially because of his accent, of course. But whatever, thank God it's Friday. You free tonight? Wanna go for a drink to LKF? Perfect, I'll see you there, mate." That was my fake British accent. So let's just take a little detour away from the story for a moment, and let me address something I've realized about accents, okay? I've been in Hong Kong for about 5 years, and I came to realize that the British accent has had a major influence on both the Hong Kong accent and the South Asian accent. Let me illustrate. You see, one of the key features about the British accent is that they don't pronounce the R sound if it's not followed by a vowel, right? For example, can I have a glass of water? Instead of water, it's just water with the R sound in the end, or like perfect instead of perfect, okay? But the Hong Kong accent does that as well. As a matter of fact, the Hong Kong accent takes it to a whole new level. They omit all the R sound, no matter if it's followed by a vowel or not. That's why when a local guy raises his hand in a classroom like this, you don't hear professor as in the American accent, not even professor as in the British accent, you hear professor. It's spelled P-O-F-E-S-S-A. Okay, professor, there's no R in it. Another thing about the Hong Kong accent is that there are only 2 tones in the Hong Kong accent, which is weird because they have 9 in Cantonese. But when a Hong Kong person speaks English, there are 2 discrete tones, a higher one and a lower one. It only jumps from one to the other, there's nothing in between, right? So it works like this. Professor, I think it is very, very important to consider the second factor. You see how it works? Alright, the South Asian accent, the Desi accent on the other hand, also shares similar pronunciations with British accent. You saw that video right now, right? Have you ever seen a Pakistani person who speaks like that? We have vast forests in the north. This is the colonial effect, still working. But yeah, they have similar pronunciations. But on the contrary to the Hong Kong accent, the South Asian accent has much more twist and turn and spice and masala, you know, and there's a lot of flexibility, much more dramatic. It has a continuum, a spectrum of tones. It flows in between, right? It sounds much more emotional and energetic. For example, a British person will say, "Oh my God, this is fantastic. I mean, absolutely amazing, unforgettable performance." And that's a British person speaking. The same sentence pronounced by a South Asian guy will be, "Oh my God, this is fantastic, absolutely amazing, unforgettable performance." See, a lot of reservation of energy and explosion of it. See, most stand-up comics in the world would stop there, just making fun of accents. But I want to make a point, right? And this is educational, meaningful conversation. Why would you think of me differently as a person when I speak like this, or when I speak like this, while the message is the same, the content is the same, and the idea presented is also the same? We shouldn't judge a person's value based on how he speaks, but let's listen to what he has to say. Okay? All right, let's go back to that story. Let's go back to that super stereotypical story. So the white exchange student is going to LKF tonight, and the local guy got a B+. He goes to the professor and he says, Professor, will the lab experiment be tested in the final exam? That's what they normally care about. And of course, there's a mainlander as well. The mainlander is not talking to anyone. He has tears in his eyes because he only got an A-, which is clearly a disgrace to his family and ancestry. What's worse, it could eventually drag his GPA below 4. The disaster he's not ready for. But anyway, they went to Ebenezer's together to have lunch. And they saw that their Pakistani classmate is also there. Of course, he's eating chicken biryani, drinking masala tea, watching a cricket game between India and Pakistan, while having a full conversation with 3 of his uncles. So they went ahead and they said, hey dude, how did your lab session go? The Pakistani guy goes, what lab session? Although the story is very entertaining, but I believe we understand that the roles of those characters have no direct relation to do with their race or ethnicity, right? For example, a Pakistani guy can also go to LKF to do da'wah, of course. He'll be there for 40 days to be da'wah, inshallah. And a mainlander can also miss a lab session. I can say that because I did. I'm a mainlander. So it was my 3rd year. I just came back from my exchange semester, so apparently I was on vacation mode. Several times, not once, several times, I woke up at 12:30 p.m. I checked my weekly schedule just for fun, and I was like, oh, there was a lab session this morning from 9 to 12. Put down my phone, continued sleeping. Just like a wise man used to say, never give up on your dreams. Keep sleeping. Yeah, so... Right, so I guess the point I'm trying to make about this story is that we shouldn't label a group by an overarching perception based on a few individuals or some exceptional cases or the propaganda that you just hear from the media. We should step out of our circle, engage with people, have conversations, and try to do your own investigation, right? That's something I'm proud of myself for. I've been to a lot of places, I've met a lot of people, and I have conversations. So for example, I mentioned that I was in the United States in 2015. I had a Jewish friend there called Max. So we learned a lot from each other about each other's religion, right? You see, in Islam, we have a phrase called inshallah, which means if God wills. We use that when we talk about future events or future plans to remind ourselves that we have no full control of the future, also to express our trust in God. So during this day and age of telecommunication, people also use the abbreviation IA, short for inshallah, to save time. So for example, a WhatsApp message might read, I'll see you tomorrow, brother, IA. Although that phrase is misused a lot nowadays, oftentimes it means probably not. And IA to these people means indefinite allusion. But anyway, you get what it means. It turns out in the Jewish tradition, they have a similar phrase, bi'izrat hisham, in the Hebrew language, which means with God's help, right? It's used in similar ways as inshallah. And they also use an abbreviation with the starting letters B and H. So one day, Max invited me to the apartment of a friend of his, a young Jewish lady. She was cooking, smelled really nice. So I said, wow, you are a really good cook. And she said, well, thank you. You know what? You should try cooking for yourself as well. So, talking about future events. So I thought, I wanted to be friendly. I thought I could use that phrase, the Jewish phrase. But I didn't remember the full form of the phrase. I only remember the abbreviation. So I said, yeah, I'll try in the future, BH. And she's like,
that's too hard.
I was like, no, that's hope, BH. Max was dying laughing on the side. I didn't know why he was laughing, just like I don't know why you're laughing. Those are two separate letters. If it means anything different to you, make tawbah, repent to Allah.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, but gotta be careful with language. Sometimes it hurts people unintentionally. But language is important. It can sometimes save your lives. I went to Pakistan in 2016 as well, end of 2016. So I was among the 16 million safe people. Before I went, I was aware that in Pakistan, guns are quite accessible, right? It's different from where I come from. See, I've never seen a real gun in my entire life growing up in China. So before I went, I went to Pakistan and we went to an ordinary Chinese restaurant and there will be an Uncle G sitting at the doorstep with a shotgun, wiping the shotgun, smiling, Assalamu alaikum, kaise ho, khana kha le. It's very different. So before I went, I asked my good friend Norman, who's a Pakistani, I said, can you teach me how to say don't shoot in Urdu? It might be useful when things got bad. He said, okay, that's easy. Just say this. Nay, 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 nay. Which means no. I think it should work. So I arrived at Pakistan. I was at the Karachi airport. And I was, lining up for the customs. I was in a foreigner line. There was a domestic line as well. And two men from the domestic line started arguing with each other. I guess it's about who should go first. So they started arguing, and it got louder and louder, and it's heating up. They were on the edge of fighting with each other. So I was just looking at them, and another man in the line pointed at my direction, said something in Urdu. I only understood two words, okay? He said, "Oi!" By the way, that's a word to me. He said, "Oi! Blah, 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 China, blah, 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 blah." For those of you who don't understand Urdu, China means Chinese. So I figured he said something like, hey guys, there's a Chinese guy looking, so behave yourself, you're looking as a big bad. And it worked. The two men immediately stopped fighting. So, a lot of my Pakistani friends tell me that Pakistan is more law and order. Here's a suggestion. Just hire a Chinese guy at every train station, airport, pretend to be a traveler and just watch people. Okay, it might help. So that's basically, eventually it was a really fun trip to Pakistan. I would testify, so yeah, please go if you can. I really enjoyed the hospitality of the people and the generosity of my friends. Yeah, I'll get my $50 later. Thank you. But I also went to Morocco, the Middle East, last year. I went to Morocco for an extended period of time to experience what the Arab world is like. So I took a train from Casablanca to Marrakesh, two major cities in Morocco. It was really crowded in the beginning. I couldn't move. My hands were in the air. And after a few minutes, people spread it out. And I realized my wallet was gone. So I said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, which means there's no power and might except with Allah. It's a phrase that Muslims use when we're in distress. What's funny is, everybody around me immediately understood what happened. They had that look of sympathy, like, oh, poor guy. And the guy next to me, he could speak English. He didn't say, what happened? He said, what did you lose? So I guess this kind of stuff happens all the time on trains in Morocco. So, long story short, I waited until I got to Marrakesh. I went to the police station. By the way, before I went to Morocco, I was hoping that I could practice my Arabic in this Arabic-speaking country. I could speak a little bit of Arabic. But that didn't happen for two reasons. Firstly, the Arabic that Moroccans speak is a different kind of Arabic. You see, even the Egyptians are nodding. They're like, yes, their Arabic is crazy. We don't understand. Because the Moroccan Arabic is a mixture of Arabic, French, and some local languages. It's totally different, right? That's the first reason. The second reason is that since I lost my wallet, that's the only topic I spoke to people about. So I did manage to pronounce one sentence very fluently, which is سُرقت محفظتي في القطار, which means my wallet was stolen in the train. I kept saying that. So I went to the police station, I met a police officer, I said, Assalamu alaikum, أنا مسافر من الصين, سُرقت محفظتي في القطار, هل تتكلم الإنجليزية? Basically, peace be upon you, I'm a traveler from China, my wallet was stolen in the train, do you speak English? Because my Arabic basically went out at that point. And he said, yes, a little. I said, okay. So he asked me, your passport still with you? I said, yes, fortunately my passport is still with me. And he goes, so why are you here? I got stuck, but he continued. You have the passport? Go back to your country. So his facial expression told me that, this kind of things happen frequently in Morocco, and the chance of me getting back my wallet is extremely low. So I said, well, can I at least have a proof of loss that may help me re-obtain my documents when I go back? He said, okay. So he opened a Word file, starts typing with 2 index fingers. This is how he types. This is called sticking to Tawheed in the time of technology. Yeah, so he starts typing and he asked me a question, what is your name? I said, my official name is Ma Pei Tong, but people also call me Isa. And I pronounced Ayn with perfect standard Arabic. They also call me Isa. He said, Isa. I said, yeah, as in Isa ibn Maryam. He said, you Muslim? I said, Alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim. He said, you Chinese? I said, well, I'm Chinese, if that's what you meant. He said, Chinese Muslim? I said, well, you put it together, that's what it will be. And he jumps out of his chair saying, Allahu Akbar. He goes around the office telling everybody he just found a Chinese Muslim. And every other officer also got excited, so much so that they started reciting ayat from the Quran. Some say, Inna dina inna Allah Islam. Indeed, religion with Allah is Islam. Some saying, كَانَ النَّاسُ أُمَّةً وَاحِدًا. Human beings were originally one nation. They were really excited. It was like a party. I was the only one sitting there not knowing what to do. After 15 minutes, this officer comes back, sits down, looks at me and says, what are you doing here? I go, proof of loss. He said, oh, sorry, I forgot. Maybe that's why he got distracted. He totally forgot what he was doing. Maybe that's why they can't find a lost wallet on a train. Can you imagine this officer going on a train investigating, and the passenger says, officer, come, sit down, drink a cup of tea. He said, okay, I'm very thirsty. He sits down, drinks the tea, and the passenger asks, what are you doing here? He says, sorry, I forgot. But again, remember the point, let's not overgeneralize. That's only one person that I met. I cannot say all the Arabs are like that. I have Arab friends who are very detail-oriented. Okay? Just a disclaimer. So, I'm coming to the end of my performance, and I'm very grateful and very glad that my own stories, true stories, actually made you laugh. Because, in the beginning I was quite worried. I was worried that my stories are not funny enough. I actually went on Google to search for halal jokes. Turns out Muslims collectively have a very bad sense of humor. Most of the halal jokes you find online are really lame. Because you see, humor is an intelligent form of communication. And we Muslims seem to have problems communicating in general. This is true story again. Jamal Ahmed, the chairperson of MSA, he told me that he was sending emails to some Muslims to invite them to come attend this event. And he would end the email by saying, Jazakallahu khairan, which you just learned, which means, may God reward you with goodness, and Jamal Ahmed, his name, right? So one person replied, Dear Mr. Jazakallahu khairan, Jamal Ahmed. Come on, you are a Muslim. You're supposed to know this. Another person replied, we are pleased, dear sir or madam, we are pleased to inform you that we are not attending the event. What are you saying? What are we supposed to reply? We are sincerely grateful that you're not coming. But by the way, I did find some jokes that are okay on the internet, okay? And I'll share one with you to finish this performance. Okay, so there's a seller who's selling a horse in a market. So a buyer comes and says, what's good about this horse? Tell me about this horse. So the seller says, this is a very special horse. Whenever you say Subhanallah, it starts walking. And whenever you say Alhamdulillah, it starts running. And whenever you say Allahu Akbar, it stops immediately. And he's like, wow, that's amazing. I'll buy it, I'll take it. So he bought the horse, rode on the horse, and said, Subhanallah, the horse starts walking. See? And he's like, oh, it's working. He said, Alhamdulillah. And the horse starts running really fast. And then they're approaching a cliff. So he got afraid. He said, Allahu Akbar. The horse stopped immediately, just a few steps before the edge of the cliff. He said, phew, that was close. Alhamdulillah.